is. Who told you this was there? I'm sorry.
What up, YouTube?
Hi.
I am your host, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, back in here with yet one more video, joined by a very special guest, D.
Hey, what's up?
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. Well, thank you.
Really good.
Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
So you've seen a couple of the videos,
I have.
and I already know you do. You're not camera shy.
Oh my god.
You're not camera shy. So I thought it'd be good to capture some of your thoughts, your authentic thoughts and opinions regarding what you guys already see in the title of this video. So, Patrice O'Neal, if your girlfriend left, what would you miss? I think it'll be an interesting conversation. Are you familiar with Patrice?
I'm like vaguely familiar, so if you can give me a little background, kind of.
He's a comedian. R.I.P. Patrice O'Neal. He has very interesting thoughts about relationships, and I'll say the word interesting and then let you form an opinion based off of what you say. But he's a deceased comedian, hilarious. Like his stand-ups are hilarious, but also he has these ideas about relationships that I think are ridiculously true. Like he's far beyond his time. Like, you know, he was far beyond his time at the time.
Okay. So you agree with most of his relationship like ideas?
I would say most of it, but he's also just hilarious. So he's just a good dude to just listen to and just understand what he's saying. You know what I mean? So. All right. Anything to say before we get started?
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. So.
All right, for sure.
Do it.
All right. So without further ado, let's get right in it.
Let's go to Turtle from Whackbag. Turtle.
Hey guys, listen, Patrice, you're absolutely right. I've been jumping through hoops ever since I met my wife, trying to get the pussy, and once you got it, they put up more hoops for you to jump through. I got to go home and implement the O'Neal standard in my home.
The O'Neal standard,
because
wow.
she knows eventually you're going to figure out, if she doesn't constantly apply pressure, that you're going to figure out, holy shit. What? Like my man, he was nervous that his wife was going to leave him, and I go, let me ask you a question. Like if we really sit down, if my woman left, your woman left, you go, what would you really miss about her? Exactly. Like, what would you miss? It's your own arrogance, our arrogance as men, because they're possessions, and if they leave, it's like, oh, it's like losing your favorite pencil, but it's like, pencil. He's equating a relationship,
a loving relationship,
of years to losing maybe your favorite pencil. Your favorite pencil.
It doesn't even sound like it's a number 2 pencil.
No. Where is that fucking pencil? But that's our arrogance. That's why we lose our minds when women live, because when they leave us and things like that, because we're so fucking arrogant to think that we control them. I don't think I control my girl. I just let her know she can't control me, which is all she needs to do. That's it. She knows she cannot fuck around with me. That is not her job to make me miserable. It ain't her fucking job. No one says that she's supposed to make. Who the fuck? You know what? Who says I'm supposed to do anything for you, bitch? Open a door, pull a chair out. It's all desire. You better make me want to do that. Just like I gave the desire to want to fuck me. That we do, that they go, oh, I want you, I want to fuck you, and you go, we do our job. Make us want to spend time with you, as opposed to, rah!
All right, let's get back to the phones. There's some great stuff here. Asaf from New Jersey.
What's going on? Hey, I got to say that Patrice, man, you're dead on.
All right, just real quick. So I was looking
Like, where do you stop?
Yeah. I was looking in the camera and I saw some facial expressions. So initial reactions to any of that?
So initial reaction, I think one of the first things I did think of, so I'm a writer, and so when he mentioned the pencil, I was like, you know,
if you lost your pencil.
If you lost your favorite pencil, like, to be honest though, like if we really want to get into it, you know, a pencil for a writer is like a very powerful tool that you use to transcribe all of your thoughts to paper. So there's actually a lot of value in the tool that is a pencil.
Yeah, but what he's saying is,
I know he is.
You can go get another pencil.
He is saying that you can get another pencil, and you can get another pencil. There's a bunch of people in this world, right? Like you can really get another pencil.
But kind of thinking like, too, if that pencil was to really go, what would you be necessarily missing if there's others to replace it with? So I think the question behind this question is, what can a woman provide a dude that's specific to that dude that is not necessarily something that he could get out, maybe out in the streets or with these kind of short-term relationships with women that he has on a team?
Right, and I feel like, having watched some of your videos before, I have seen this question of value and how you basically like speak for a woman's value. And I think for me, it comes back to a question of just like more of a human to human connection and what the value is of having just another person in your life. And so I think as women, we're socialized to provide a lot of intangible benefits for men, whereas it's not transactional, it's not money. It's like the only real transactional thing is maybe like the box. And that's what people refer to as being like, there's nothing but the box. But if we really want to talk about it, one transactional thing that we do provide is life. And I know that's like a whole thing, right? It's like people saying like, well, you know, men put in that too. And they do.
Yeah.
But we are the incubators.
You are. Yeah.
And by life, it's like, you know, babies and cuteness, but also the idea of like that baby becomes a part of your family, which then becomes a part of your wealth, which then in turn actually gives you some. Yeah,
that's true. Like you can look at it as creating a family and the investment of the 18, 19 years is like, you know, as you retire, you know. As you retire.
Well, and if you think about it, I feel like, you know, when you're thinking of like royalties and people who, I mean, like there's esteemed family businesses that are just built off the fact that you were born into that blood, right? It's not as common in certain communities, right?
Right. Well, not in America like that. Like,
right?
You know, because this is just an abundance of options to be able to choose from. It's not like, you know, 150 years ago, if you had a farm, then the kids are going to run that farm. Like it was no options, right? There was no corporations like reaching out to you like, hey, you want a job at XYZ company? Yeah. You know, so good. So I hear a pouring in of an energy multiplied with building a kingdom.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I like the way you voice that. Yeah.
You like that?
I like the recap. Yeah.
I like. Cool.
Should we listen to more problematic ones?
Yeah. Let's keep going. We might double back into that because I feel we might need to do a whole video on what we just talked. No, we're gonna keep on doing.
What are we doing now?
No, we're gonna keep on doing Patrice, but I feel like this whole conversation about what a woman provides, like I don't want to detract from this video, but we may need to do a whole separate conversation because I feel like your mind was spinning there. Like,
it was spinning.
Yeah.
But I held myself back a little bit.
Oh, you would never have to do that. What you holding back for?
I held myself back.
All right, so let's get back into it. Let's show my man Patrice some respect.
Let's go respect.
I did my own little thing with a woman. I've been with her for 4 years, and like the first 3 years, I was the biggest motherfucker to her. And it's like she gave me the best treatment. I even moved out of state with my ex, and she stood by me. I came back, and she just kept on just giving me the best treatment in the world. And the minute I decided I want to try and settle down and treat her right, she started acting like the biggest bitch.
That's how Harlem got hooked on heroin in the 20s. They give you the uncut dope, and then soon as you go, they go, gotcha, you punk motherfucker. That's what they do, and it's not their fault. It's not malicious. It's just nature. That's what they do. They can't help it. All you got to do, dude, is step back and just like whatever you do in life that you just make a conscious decision. You're going to make a conscious decision that you will live without her. As soon as she knows that you will righteously leave, she will righteously stay. They can't help it. Leave right. Get out of that.
Wow, that is some philosophy, man.
Yeah. A couple more here.
Some philosophy.
Bam.
Yeah, hey.
All right, so real quick, so I think this is a topic we definitely need to hit on.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, you hear mantras like, you know, the nice guy finished last, and the caller detailed I treated her XYZ, and then I started treating her way better, and then when I treated her way better, she treated me like shit. What is that? It like, do you identify with that at all? Like, is that something that...
No, yeah, so that's kind of, for starters, I appreciate you asking that, because that personality of having this kind of manipulative or like, I'm going to take advantage of you once I finally feel like I gotcha, like, I don't have that personal, like, outlook on life, but I'm also a very empathetic person, so I'm always considering what that looks like to the other person, so... I mean, for what the listener, the person who called in, caller, for what he described, again, like, I mean, I'm feeling for him because he got taken advantage of. Like, that's not cool. I would wager to say that it's not limited to only women who can take advantage of someone after getting comfortable in a situation. And I would also, wager to say that whoever that person is, they have a lot for themselves that they're not providing, that they're expecting that from somebody else, kind of. So that's kind of...
Yeah, I think it's a fair wager also because he said it, right? He said that he was treating her a certain way, and, she then responded that way. Well, and maybe there's not an answer for this. Maybe we need to talk to a psychologist, but like, what is it about human nature where... It's almost like you want more what you don't have, right? So at the point that you validate, right, and the point that you put ye on high, the person has the power to corrupt, right? Like, and that's just, it's a human nature thing, like kind of like what you said. Like, I know a lot of what people will throw you on the internet and, is that is a woman thing, but it's really a human nature thing. Absolute power absolutely corrupts. So it's almost like in the dating game and where people mess up is when they go into the marriage game and they don't continue that dating mindset, right? Like that push and that pull, that keeping it interesting, and then y'all just settle. And then the settle will always, time will break that up eventually. Like eventually, you know what I'm saying? Because then one disrespects the other, or one is ignoring the other, or something will happen, if you don't have that like push and pull, you know what I mean? Yeah. That push and pull is real.
The push and pull is real.
Yeah, but you don't identify with this at all. Like, you like typically, like when a nice dude like he's like genuinely nice, does that attract you, or is there at what point that you're like,
I mean,
I'm sure that happens.
It does happen. I mean, but everybody has like like it's not the person's actions though. I think it's the person themselves. So I mean, I think without getting into the whole like nice guy, because I don't have all of my thoughts quite there, but I will say that like for me, I think that a lot of times the nice guy finished last comes from this idea that if by performing well and doing good behavior, you are due good, like you're owed this good return, which is whether that's commitment, whether that's the box again. I keep wanting to say pussy, but it's Sunday, so I'm like...
It is Sunday, yeah. It's the Sabbath, girl. Holy damn.
I'll say the box.
Savage.
But yeah, so that's why I can't get behind it, because as a woman, and I mean, as a woman who I will say has usually tried to put my best foot forward and being nice and consider the other person, I haven't always gotten the best end of the stick. I've had people I've treated really nice who dated my best friend that they knew, or like tried to get with friends, or just like a lot of things that you would be like, oh wow, that wasn't owed to me. It's not like I did something to deserve it, but yeah, so going back to kind of the thought of if I identify with that, like, no, I don't. And I think that people who do are, like you said, falling into that habit of like, they need to seek validation from somebody who is in a position of what's perceived power compared to them. And so for men, I think because what a lot of people kind of like whittle it down to is that a woman only has a box that I don't have. That power is the box, and that's when you get the whole like putting the box on a pedestal, pussy on a pedestal, because it don't make no sense when you say the box on the pedestal. But
yeah, no, that's real. I think like it's more healthy if, like, when I think about like a household and the man leading, right? But that leading has nothing to do with, in my idea, like that the power dynamic between the two, right? Like I feel like there needs to be a push and a pull for a healthy relationship. If she completely 100% like just is pouring into you and is not giving you space and room and time to grow, like, it can't work, at least in my eyes. Like I need space. Like I got my own stuff I gotta do. You know what I mean? So it's always like and same thing, because it comes off as desperate. And the thing is like, if I'm doing that to someone else, like she'll view that as desperate. And I feel like after a while, like there has to be that power dynamic. It has to be relatively even, because there's a such thing as overcrowding someone in their space, and maybe that's just specific to me, because I know I grew up an only child, so I really value my time. Like I'm okay, like just sitting by myself and I talk to myself and everything. I'm a little weirdo, you know what I mean? So it's like, but I enjoy my time holistically. Like I do, and it doesn't necessarily need to have anyone directly next to me. You know what I'm saying? But like, if I feel like that overcrowding is happening, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on, back up, give me some room. Like, you coming over to hang out with me, and it's always about me. You don't got friends, you don't got shit that you're doing. You just want to just be in the passenger seat, just get out of here. Get out of here.
Let her ride. Let Shorty ride.
Okay, I'll let her ride. All right, you want to keep going?
Yeah, we can keep going.
Next caller.
Patrice, man, that might work for white on white or black on black. Man, I'm a white guy married to a black woman. And man, if I started all of a sudden trying to do that shit, I would probably get my ass whipped.
It's not like an attitude thing. It's a belief thing. It's like you have to just look at. I told my girl she's the fourth most important thing in my life. Okay?
Now.
And I'm going to tell you what the three ahead of her was.
I'll guess.
It was me.
Career.
My career.
Family.
My mother.
Which is mom.
And then her.
Jesus. Fourth.
And then she's there. She goes, but, yes, well, you're important. But I consider you to be the person I'm going to grow old with. So I kind of put you ahead of my family, like my mother or whatever. And I go, oh, wow. Well, thanks, sweetie, but you're fourth. And I love my fish, too, so you better fucking watch your step.
Yeah, what is fifth? What is fifth? Fifth would be the fish.
My fish.
So she just beats out the fish.
She beats out my fish.
But they're nice fish,
She
though.
better be lucky.
He gets the exotic
You know how many
fish.
people around my life? She's the fourth most important. To me, never love yourself. Never love anybody more than you love yourself.
Yo. Facts.
I'm not.
What's up? I saw you shake your head a little bit too when he said he has a black wife. Anything you want to add?
Okay, full disclaimer, because there are people probably like, what? No, I'm super supportive of interracial dating. I think that the sentiment he was coming from, though, was he was like, I'm a white man.
She gonna beat my ass.
Exactly. And I'm like, no, we are not going to perpetuate this narrative of like an angry black white woman who's just beating on her husband,
So you don't identify with that, and I know you don't. Like, it's a rhetorical question.
Okay.
I already know that you don't. If you did, I wouldn't have you up here.
You can just put that like under my does not identify as an angry black woman. No.
Fantastic. We need to proliferate whatever it is that you're giving off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So, but still, he brings up a very good point, and we talk about this on the channel a lot, and that's, I'm the prize, right? Like, love yourself more than anything. Because if you cannot love yourself, if you can't look at yourself in the mirror and whatever you look back at, if it doesn't make you smile, if it doesn't make you feel whole, well, then you got some work to do. And probably a component of the work that you have to do, you have to be intentional about building what that is. I mean, it could be a wide range of things that you do in order to try to build what that is. You can, increase your network, get outside your comfort zone, enlist a therapist, right? Like there's a multitude of things for you to do in order to start to begin to love yourself. And a lot of that is figuring out, what do you want to do in your life, right? Stepping outside the matrix and saying, okay, there's been this plot that's laid out for a lot of humans. Let me step outside of that and see, what is it that I want to do? What is it that I like? And there's a large chance that whatever you want to do, you can make money off of. It's a very large chance.
Absolutely.
Any thoughts on loving yourself more than anything else?
Well, so that I agree, like, with what he was stating about, not putting this emphasis on your partner being like the top priority in your life. Like, I don't think that, well, for one, so as like a God-fearing woman, I put God first, and then family and myself are going to come in line before I probably am looking at my partner. But I think to a certain extent, it's not quite so like concrete, like it ends up certain to... things start to like fluid and like morph, but yeah, no, I think it's all about self-love. I think you brought up a really like great point. I think we're in such a romanticized culture where you have to put so much emphasis on another person that you get distracted from figuring out your stuff, and then you end up having like a midlife crisis, and you're like, what have I been doing? Because I've given it all to somebody else or to something else, like a job or something that wasn't actually fulfilling who you are as a person. And I mean, without saying like you only got one life, you really do. So, self-love is absolutely how you're going to perpetuate how that life ends up being. Like,
I was actually just thinking that I listened to a podcast the other day about Elon Musk. Now, being a super genius aside, he has the same 24 hours in a day that you have. He has the same Steve Jobs had the same 24 hours in a day. And it don't mean that you have to break barriers on industries, right? Like, but you can break barriers in your neighborhood.
Yes. You're preaching a word. Yeah, I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad at this at all. I'm feeling a lot more relaxed because I thought I was going to have to bring out the guns for this conversation. And now I'm like, oh, Sean, he's just like us. This is great. He's just...
Wow. Okay.
No, I can appreciate that.
But there's only 24 hours in a day, so being intentional about what you're doing. There's a lot of dudes out there that want to spend a lot of their time getting up under as many boxes as what they possibly can, and a lot of that is the culture is telling you that in order to be a man, you have to slay vagina. And the thing is, and I can have a testimony. It's Sunday, so I'm gonna have a quick testimony. That is not happiness. It's not. It's really not. So here's my definition of happiness. Can I get into that just real quick? Yeah. I noticed within my life, now I'm 33 years old, some of you may not know that. I have noticed, like, it's not money. Rich people commit suicide at the same rate as poor people. Actually, I think it's higher. I have to look at the statistics. I'm going to research that real quick. Don't take that as gospel. That's my anecdotal brain just spinning. Regardless of the amount of money, regardless of the amount of women in your life, here's my equation. It's a direct function of how many, and I've said this previously in the channel, it's a direct function of how many people love you. That's happiness. Because how many people at 2 o'clock in the morning you can reach out to and will be at your doorstep. The more people, and it's tough to build up these relationships, it can take years, but the more people that will accept that call and be like, what's up, I'm over there right now, the more happier and fulfilled that you will be in your life, and the more that your legacy will be of value and sustained and long lasting. That's what I've come to find out. So I am on a journey of trying to increase what that is. This is why, like, you can go into different cultures that, and we have it really good in America. Like, you don't have a perspective of that until you go to some of these other countries. There's cultures out there with far less than us. They don't live in this culture of abundance. They don't at all. They have far less than us.
Right.
But there was no statistical difference in level of happiness. And it's because regardless of where they are socioeconomically, they can still have family around them, right? So that's what I've ascertained over these past couple of years. Maybe that equation might change, like going into the future, but I feel like it's pretty rock steady.
It's pretty solid.
I know there's some people who are probably more spiritual than me that would, look up on high for a lot of that as well. So I know that you do. So like, if you could think about happiness for a second, like how would you bundle that?
Bundle happiness. Well, so I think for me, I would say happiness has a lot to do with, it does have, it's like purpose driven for me. I think it has to do a lot with what I believe I'm on this earth and this planet to provide for my fellow like brothers and sisters, if you will. So I do, for me, like happiness, my outlet is through, like, I do a lot of social services for others. I do a lot of like community work. So that's building and helping to provide for the community that I'm in. That makes me feel happiness. That makes me feel content. I do enjoy the idea of thinking of the people who are there for me in like the midnight hour. Like that does make me feel happy.
We're going off on a mega tangent.
Oh yeah, no,
keep going.
We can keep going.
Let's keep showing my man Patrice respect.
For real respect.
We going back in there? All right,
Yeah.
let's go.
I love me. You have
That'd be
to.
numero uno.
All right,
Right.
let's go to Dave in Iowa. Dave?
Hey, I've been married about 12 years or so, and I just cannot get my wife to give me blowjobs near as often as I would like. And I've tried lots of different methods,
Ready?
and she just doesn't like it.
Ready?
I just want Patrice's advice.
Patrice.
Ready?
Saying
Here's what
ready.
you do.
Yeah.
They're very competitive. All right? What you do
right.
is you please her to the utmost of your ability and someone else's ability. And then when she's pleased thoroughly, you just go and watch TV and say, thanks, sweetie, I just wanted to please you. And she'll go, what the fuck? I'm useless. She'll realize how, this is what you do. You make her come and then you jerk off and you say, thanks. That was the best sex I ever had, and it didn't include you. And then call back and see if that worked. You please her, lick her asshole,
Dave,
lick her pussy, your finger, you just fuck the shit up. You treat her and you do it righteously. You do it where it's no pretense. Not that you're trying to get your dick. So you do it. You, instead of eating pussy, you become a pussy eater. Like you just do it and love it, and she nuts all over the place, and you get her horny as she could possibly be. Finish her off, and then you jerk off, and you get up, and you just fucking go watch TV or whatever. You be disinterested in her pussy. That's when, because you're taking away that weapon. It's like, you ever see a movie when a motherfucker puts the gun to the guy's face? Yeah, Pulp Fiction. And he goes, I don't want to blow your horn, man, but that ain't the first time I had a pistol point in my face, motherfucker. So it's like, when she goes, I don't want to suck your dick, I don't want to do you just get up and you don't want it. If she's not giving it to you anyway, don't want it. She's doing that because you want it too bad, motherfucker. Don't want it.
God damn it.
Talk about this one?
I really don't.
Yeah, I kind of don't either.
I really
well,
don't.
number one, I don't necessarily agree with them. Like, if she's just lazy, right? Like, she won't give a shit.
Listen.
Yeah, she won't even care.
Listen. Right. Well, and I think that, like, again, like, we've gone on tangents, but, like, if we really want to talk about this, like, there's some people who, like, they just might not like to perform certain
Accent.
sexual acts, you know? So I don't think that you need to, like, obliterate your woman into, like, orgasmic just euphoria to get her to snap into it and just become, like, a sucking machine. But I like, I know that sounds so great. That's what I just heard. Like, it feels like you jiggle a light switch and all of a sudden she's
woken.
She's back up.
Right.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now she's gonna do everything that you wanted to do. Yeah, I don't.
Everything. But the crazy thing is, there's probably some women who are having some very pleasurable moments right now because you said this. Yeah. And there's still dudes knocking on their dicks.
Right. So. Yeah. They're just laying back. Like, damn, I don't know what I did recently. It's so then if she did nothing and you're rewarding her for nothing. she will continue the behavior. My man Patrice, this is the first time I've ever not agreed with what he said.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a defining moment in my life.
I'm glad I could be here.
Yeah. You're witnessing history.
Oh wow.
You're witnessing history. All right, let's keep going.
Let's go to Pat in Boston. Pat.
Hi, Jimmy. This is your mother. The black Dr. Phil says, take one bitch and replace her with 5. I love you.
Hey, that's a great callback. JT in New York. JT.
Guys, what's up, man?
Hey.
Patrice, dude, I've been in a relationship now for 4 years. I'm with the lady. She had a kid before. We have a kid together. Man, I ain't got laid in 3 months. And I'm just trying to figure out what to do. I'm not an ugly dude. I get, numbers thrown at me regularly, but do I cheat? Do I stick it out? I've been trying to get laid. I don't know what the fuck to do, man. Help me.
You go. Let me tell you something. What do you do for a living?
I'm a full-time student, and I'm a barber.
You're a student. You got women friends?
You know what, man? I cut them off because
that's your fucked up. Look, let me explain something to you about having a woman in your life.
Can I just ask one question before you go, Patrice? How old are you, JT?
28.
Oh, okay.
Listen to me.
Here's what you've done, Patrice. Here is what the one thing. It's your logic, by the way, is perfect. I would not criticize it. It is perfect, but it is just that. Pure Vulcan fucking logic.
I react a lot. Reaction video, I react a lot.
You reacted to your logic is perfect.
Yes.
Do you feel like it was perfect?
Well, so I was still kind of wrapping my head around everything he was saying, because he started right with a caller that mentioned he wasn't getting laid after being in a relationship for 3 months, right? Which, again, I think that there's a lot of gaps in here. We're not discussing what's happened in those 3 months.
Like, did he mess up? So there's other information that is left off for sure.
Right.
And actually, I think I missed it. He was in a relationship for a certain amount of time, but he said he hasn't gotten any in 3 months.
In 3 months.
So I don't know how long the relationship has been. Maybe they said it, but I might have missed it.
Right.
Where I thought Patrice was going to go is the value. Because listen, women you guys like when other chicks like us. Generally, I don't know if that's you specifically. But women in general, I find as if they're not gonna like or show you that much love or feel like you're a high value man unless other people generally feel like you're a high valued man. Right? So by him getting rid of all of his girlfriends, and so the thing he could have got rid of all of his girlfriends and it could have went fine for the relationship. But all of a sudden now it's not. It's 3 months in, she's not respecting him. She doesn't feel like he's high value. So where I thought Patrice was going to go is to say, get those friends back and invite them over for dinner. And then make sure you invite the baddest ones over for dinner.
Because then what happens? The woman feels that you have value again because they see you amongst...
Yeah.
I would argue, and I'm not a businesswoman per se, but you think of something like Coca-Cola, right?
Yep, I just took a swig of a Coca-Cola.
So, exactly. Pure Coca-Cola, nothing else. So, there's a bunch of other sodas that taste like Coke or look like Coke. But when you have a product that is endorsed and marketed and branded to a way in which there's there's even people who refer to soda as Coke without it even being, it could be Sprite,
Yeah.
So I think we're talking about when women enjoy the idea of a man being liked by other women, it's more of a, it's like a branding. It's the fact that person is desirable or that product, because because all of these relationship things they talked about have put everybody in objects. So that's kind of how I'm placing it. It's like the product of a man. If you're a Coca-Cola, I'm probably gonna check for you more than a Mr. Pibb. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
You see what
I see what you did.
There?
So, but if you lose your customer base,
yes. Don't do that.
I'm gonna take your, and I'm gonna keep on. If you lose your customer base. They look at the ratings of Coke and they're like, damn, Mr. Pibb, right? It's coming up in the rankings. Coke is no longer as valued. The stock valuation is plummeting because you're losing the customer base.
Yeah.
You're losing that kind of you know, that you're not going out as, you know, much, and she's seeing you in a light, like, you know, you're not turning heads in a club or nothing like that no more, and, you know, you get comfortable, and all of a sudden your belly starts to leak over your belt a little bit more, like she starts to kind of lose that brand value.
Brand value.
You know what I mean? So one way.
But there's a quality product. See, like, the brand value is absolutely important, you know, but Coke could theoretically be like the worst soda ever. I don't really drink Coke like that. I don't really like it, you know, but it's branded to where you're like, wow, that's good soda. You know what I'm saying? I need that with pizza. I need that, you know, Pepsi, whatever.
Yeah.
But then, like, if you go and the product itself has never been of substance in the first place, then yeah, you're going to be like, what's the next thing? Or, well, what's over here type thing. So I think it has to do again with, like, was he or is the person in the relationship, woman or man, were they ever really the quality product in the first place? Or was it just smoke and mirrors?
Well, listen, you already chose me, motherfucker. So it's too late, Mom. You already made the purchase. Only one. Only one.
I agree. I mean, well, so, yeah, no, I think, I guess because the original sentiment is more so just, what do you do when she's also had you cut off your friends? Now, I agree with you on the, like, I don't think you should cut off friends in general. I think everybody knows what relationships they need to be in while they're with a specific person and not. Like, that's really what it is. Like, not everything's this black and white cookie cutter, like, no men, no women, opposite sex type thing. I think it's like, I know my male friends that I can still be friends with you while I'm over here rocking with my dude. But I also know there's men that I probably should not be hitting up because they're the ones who are thinking of me in a way that isn't appropriate, you know? So
it's up to the integrity of both participants in that relationship to understand and not be like, I've had people come up here and women come up here and they were like, yeah, it was a revelation that these dudes that I had around me actually wanted me, and they didn't consider it beforehand. So it's like, you know, taking an honest and authentic look at your immediate circle and understanding, like, okay, is this someone that's really, like, at the same time, I think it's impossible for a man and a woman to truly be friends. Like, truly, like, so after high school. If you met them before high school, like, if you met them, like, in grade school, like, it could be, because, like, you get two people.
Yeah, so
like,
what changes after grade school? I'm so curious.
Puberty,
okay.
like puberty.
Yeah.
But I think, like, if you take two dope people and you put two dope people in a room together and they become cool, like, there's a level of attraction there. There's a level of attraction of even being a friend, right? And to think that, like, it can't go somewhere else. Like, I just, like, so true friends, like a guy and a guy. Like, I feel like a guy and a guy, you know what I'm saying? Two heterosexual dudes, like, they can legit just be friends. But if there's always the opportunity of insertion, I feel like, you know what I mean?
Insertion being like the physical.
Yeah, exactly what you're doing with your fingers. They can't
it's
see
Sunday.
Like, that. Oh,
Sunday.
There it is.
The physical insertion.
You rebel. You rebel. I'm about to get demonetized.
No, it's not. Okay, all right.
You rebel.
Continue though.
Forgot what I was saying.
You were saying the physical insertion, if that's a possibility.
Yeah, if it's always a possibility, and the two people are dope, like, that's the thing, and I think that's what that's the key right there. Like, two dope people, right? Like, and when I say dope, generally dope people are attractive to people of the opposite sex, and it's just something that happens. So, you know, you put two dope people in a room for a long enough time, sparks may eventually fly. Now, at the same time, when you're in a relationship, you can kind of turn off those sensors.
Oh yeah.
Right, and it still be fine. But I still think, like, you know, you just have to be ultimately secure with the decisions that your significant other can make. Right, and that comes through taking in a lot of data points in a very logical way, not emotional. Right, like, you might come across bright red flags and ignore them because you're considering things in more of an emotional way, or maybe are prone to manipulation or controlling. So you can't look at things as 1 + 1 will always equal 2 no matter what, right? So That's why I try to use components of red pill, and I know you don't know what red pill is.
I don't.
Yeah, so because I know you gotta go here in a second.
I know.
So I'll do it
great,
offline.
though.
Yeah, but that's why I use components of that in order to like siphon out like who's the good, who's the bad, who's the worth it, who's the not worth it, right? So. But listen, so we made it halfway through this video, and I know like we're at your time limit.
Yes.
I appreciate you coming through.
I appreciate you.
Listen, it wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
I feel like I'm just getting warmed up now.
You just getting warm. We just getting warm.
She broke the AC, so.
Oh, they all pooping on my AC. Listen. It's a little bit. It's a little bit
Wait
sweaty.
until he gets his AC fixed.
Listen,
he gonna hit you in your DM like, yo, I got the AC.
It's ready though. It's ready. It's like a workout in here. I'm sleeping. I'm sweating.
You got my natural curls.
I'm sorry. You alright? You're not even.
I'm just hot.
Oh, natural.
I see
you. Smelling like peaches and roses.
Okay. Alright. Is it cut like this? Is that how you cut it too?
Excuse me.
I think that has to be the end of it.
I am your host, Media Tutorials and Reviews. Oh wait, that's my intro.
That is your
Yo,
catalog dog. Like I just
listen, after you did the insertion, you got me all messed up. Anyway, that has been your video. I know. That has been your video. Questions, comments, concerns. Leave it down in the description box down below. D, again, appreciate you stopping by here today. We have to finish this video.
We have to finish this video.
And we will. Trust me. All right? Until next time, YouTube, out my way. You don't you slap out of here.
Excuse me back.